I don't want to do this. I mean, I know it's part of the series review and I have to do it, but I don't want to. I mean, I don't like this movie. I really don't. I think I've made it clear in the other 3 movie reviews by now, but I just don't like this movie. I didn't like it when it first came out. I still don't like it 2 years later now. But I guess I have no choice. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Okay, let's try this again. Hello everybody, Gilligan Kruger 0829 here, and welcome to day 4 of my X-Men movie marathon. Today we are talking about the first sequel, X-Men Origins Wolverine. It was from 2009, which was, if you remember, actually a year of disappointments, among other things. And it tried to give us the backstory on Wolverine and how he came to be and how he lost his memory and how he just became the rogue he is. Even though I've heard from comic book fans that the only way you could make this any more different from the original comics is if you made Stryker a clown and said Wolverine's skeleton was always there. But, you know what? I didn't read them, so I'm just judging on the movie myself. This is from a layman's point of view who doesn't know the comics. So, let's get into Wolverine. So this one actually starts in 1845. Almost 100 years before the Poland scene in the first movie. Quite a big jump if you ask me. But anyway, so we start by opening up on a young boy named James Howlett, who just killed his father's murderer. But before that man dies, he reveals that he was actually James's father. Okay, 10 minutes in, and I already don't understand what's going on. But James decides to flee with his half-brother or step-brother, I don't know, Victor, and over the next century we see them grow up. Now, we've got James is played by Hugh Jackman, and Victor is played by Liev Schreiber, and we see them fight through the Civil War, the First World War, World War II, and Vietnam War, since apparently they stopped aging in their 30s for some reason. While they're in Vietnam, though, they are captured, and although James, he's not Logan yet, kind of disagrees with Victor's way of going around and handling things, he does defend them, and they're both ordered to be executed by a bullet squad. Since they're healers, though, they both survive, and as such, they're locked in a cell. But that isn't long before we meet Major William Stryker, a man played by... Ah! Vampire! Vampire! Oh, wait, never mind, it's just Danny Huston. Sorry. Anyway, Stryker is willing to offer them a deal to let him join Team X, which is a group of mutants who goes around with good intentions, I guess. Also already on the team, we've got Agent Zero, played by Daniel Henry, Wade Wilson, played by Ryan Reynolds, John Wraith, played by Will.i.am. Yes, the Black-Eyed Pea. Fred Dukes, played by Kevin Durand, and Chris Bradley, played by Mary! Dominic Monaghan. Now, the group leads on some very successful missions, but eventually James decides it's time to call it quits, and against the rest of their thoughts and words, he leaves the group. So, a couple of years pass, and now he goes by Logan, not entirely sure why, and he lives with his girlfriend, Kayla, played by Lynn Collins. Stryker returns shortly after to inform them that both Chris Bradley and Wade Wilson have supposedly been murdered, and offers Logan to come back. Logan refuses, but shortly after, Kayla is killed by Victor, and Logan breaks out into one of his looking up into the sky and yelling. There's a lot. I'll touch on that later on. But So, he goes back to Stryker, and Stryker offers him a deal that he will actually turn Logan's bones into an indestructible metal called adamantium. Now, before, just his bones could, like, turn into claws, which was a kind of cool effect, but this will make it indestructible. Logan agrees, but in the process here is that they want to erase his memory, and he's not too happy about this. So, as soon as his metal is in his bones, he gets out and leaves. But the home he stays at is massacred by Agent Zero, and Logan decides to take it out on Stryker. So then, when he gets a hold, he says, "As soon as I'm going to get Victor, I'm going to kill you." And the rest of the movie is following through his quest to get back on both of them. Now, if you can comprehend the plot I just said, then all power to you, because I said it and I don't really understand it. This movie, I don't know, maybe it's just that I don't understand the comics very well, but I really don't understand a lot of this film. It seems to make it up as it goes along. I wouldn't be surprised if they wrote the script for this on a napkin at a soccer game or something. The action scenes really aren't very exciting. We've seen them before, and they also decide to throw in a lot of action cliches as well, and we all know we've seen those before. The characters, I think they kind of do what they can, but really they feel like they're in there just to introduce a character that we might get another spin-off movie later, and hell has it, this is enough for me personally, but I don't know. Even as a whole, as just part of the series, I'm not sure if I said this earlier, I really don't see this as part of it. I couldn't tell this was part of the series, with the exception of Hugh Jackman and a small cameo by Patrick Stewart. I would have thought this had nothing to do with it. Now, I'm saying a lot of bad stuff about this. Is there anything I liked about this movie? And yes, and it does come in the cast, that while they are usually underplayed or overshadowed, they do what they can, and the performances aren't all that bad. Hugh Jackman is still great as Wolverine. He's one of the best things about the X-Men movies before. He still is here. I like Danny Huston as Stryker. I don't think he's Brian Cox, but I thought he was a really good casting choice. I don't even mind Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth. Now, all of that's there, but the bottom line is, and I know I'm going through this really quickly, this is not a very good movie. I've met some people who think this is amazing. If you really like X-Men and want to see the franchise, then by all means, you can check this out on DVD, but I don't like it, and I don't recommend it. The only recommendation I give is for you to stay away from this. This was not a very good way for the series to start its prequel. It's just poorly written and really isn't filmed all that well, I think. I just don't like it. I think it's mediocre. So as such, I'm going to give Wolverine 2 stars out of 5. I've said enough, okay? I'm done with it. I'm just hoping I don't have the same reaction with First Class tomorrow. You can find all my YouTube reviews on my channel. If you have a movie you'd like me to review, comment on this video or on my channel itself. Until next time, peace.